Hello, welcome to the Thursday edition of Nigerian Market. Nigerian Market is an advocacy program of AID. AID is an initiative for development and empowerment. Nigerian Market is a program that spotlights on made in Nigerian products and is also a program that creates market for all locally manufactured product in Nigeria. Today, I am here in the studio. My name is Sleta Udam. I'm the one anchoring for today. And joining me on the studio is Mr. Ramad.
Raman
Arunsi.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Don't murder my name.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sorry, Bill. I'm hearing the name for the first time. So you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
All right. And our topic today is not going to be different from what we are actually experiencing today in Nigeria. And the topic is local economy, a check to economic recession. Yes, you may begin to wonder, Lama, you know the situation in Nigeria right now, the mood of the economy is actually down tooling. And everywhere we go, you go to the market, you see the market psychology, you see the attitude of marketers, consumers. You understand that the rate of purchase has actually, dropped. So we're going to x-ray some of the indices that are going to guide us to see how we can get out of this recession, or how we can actually manage the recession, because we're already into it. So, Mr. Ramat, I want to see how you'll be able to make an input to this topic this morning.
The case of a recession, usually people will not even know there's recession if experts or the government don't announce it. Now, most of the times when these things are announced, you see panic. So there is more of the panic than actually what we are facing.
All right.
So the fear will make people want to hoard, want to keep money to themselves because they are afraid of losing the money from spending. And it looks like it's happening at the wrong time, because we are in a festive season when people like to stock things. People would have thought of, okay, what have they achieved at the end of the year to now want to use it to take care of themselves, take care of family and friends, travel, have leisure and all that. And we know that a lot of things has happened this year. This year looks like a 3-in-1 year, where we had the coronavirus thing, and then for Nigeria, we had the NSAS thing that came, and then we now had a whole lot of things that we did, because if I won't say somebody else did to us, we did. Private sector, the government took a lot of actions that led us here.
All right.
We crept into it.
Actually. Yeah, that is natural, because from what you have just analyzed, we agree that there are 3-in-1. So it has actually hit us so far. But we are not far from the world, because apart from here, the world is also experiencing, so many countries are also experiencing this same recession. But we see what we are going to dwell in is how we can how do we manage it? Because that's where my interest is. How do we manage it using our local economy based on our topic today? How do we manage it, and so that we can be able to put it on check, so that it will not actually, put us into a very tight corner? Because you have already said this is going to create panic. Panic naturally when there's an increase in any commodity. People want to buy to stock. But now we are saying that in the Nigerian market, even if we're going to create a market where things can be easier, because that's what we're looking at after our last week launch, the campaign for hashtag Buy Nigeria to Grow Nigeria. We also said that we're not going to be here, we'll be going to the field to see how we're going to connect, businesses, connect the manufacturers with the buyer. So that is the local economy we are talking about, and that is why our topic is staged on how local economy can check the economy recession now.
Actually, when I saw the topic, I was like, local economy is actually the solution to this recession, because what happened to us is because we consume a lot and we don't produce.
Okay.
So we need to begin to produce. Now, if you check, when there's a production, there has to be a consumer for you to produce. You get. Now, most of the producers we have produce low quality content.
Okay.
So what we should do first of all is an orientation thing, a communication thing, and an information thing. While the government is going to do their part, the private sector should sit up to do their part, because while we have government media agency, we have private media agencies. Now, it is the information they give out, the education they give out, that people will now use to invent or produce. You get, and if we are not producing now, or like even last year, we will not be able to go out of this recession, because I can't imagine a country bringing in toothpick into their country for use while we have the wood here.
Are you saying toothpick?
I've seen toothpick made in other countries.
But I want to assure you that in my state we produce toothpick. At least that alone my governor has tried. I think he set up a cottage industry where we produce toothpick. So that alone at least has been able to take care of that toothpick purchase from other countries, from China. But even though we're talking about that, when I go to the restaurant, I see toothpicks produced from China. But that is not the issue. The issue is we should look inward, and that's why we're promoting our own products. And just like we've said, and it's a local economy is going to checkmate economic recession. And as we go on this program, we're going to call other experts that may also weigh in to give us their own version on how we can actually get out or manage this recession as we go. So we'll be listening to some of our experts who are ready, standing by to make some input and weigh in their own opinion on how we can actually manage this recession, because recession is actually here with us, and it is all how much we can be able to work out ways and we'll get out of it that can actually help us. Because someone said, not if you fall is not bad, but how you get up from that fall, that matters. Mm-hmm. So Nigeria is already into it. What is the government doing to actually get out of this recession? I know from the discussion recently on the economic issues, they are putting up all the indices that will help to checkmate. If not that, they are even telling us, the finance minister is telling us that if they have not even done the job, they would have been worse than what we were expecting. So before now, but we want to see more of it, because it's not actually clear.
Actually, from my point, I know that people depend on the government a lot. But Nigeria is somehow a capitalist economy,
okay,
or a capitalist nation. So we need a private sector that can sit up. Our government will not be as efficient as we want if we don't sit up or are not efficient. Imagine we have at least 10% efficiency in our private sector. I'm even asking for too much. 4% efficiency in our private sector. You understand?
Yeah.
The government will sit up. You get. So my challenge now is, what are we going to do? If I have a fashion brand, what do I do? What kind of product am I going to do that will compete with something somebody else is buying outside? Because in as much as we want to advocate for people to buy Nigerian products to grow Nigeria, people still want taste. People still want quality. If we're talking about, okay, Innocent is making cars, there's Volvo, there's Mercedes-Benz. What is he doing that will make somebody leave buying a Mercedes-Benz and going to purchase an Innocent product? Because you can't tell people, you didn't make their money for them. Yeah. You can't tell them what to buy. Okay. They decide what to buy. So you have to make it good enough for them to want to buy. So first of all say private sectors get efficient.
All right.
And let's see what the government will do.
Private sector should get efficient. Well, but we know in government already, there are government agencies that are actually being strategized, that are being positioned to actually checkmate some of the standard you're making. Standard Organization of Nigeria is one. NAFDAC, these are the agencies that have been given the prerogative to actually look at standard. Because if those standards are not actually there, just like you mentioned Innocent, what would Innocent do different that people will decide to begin to buy Innocent? I think Innocent should begin to think how his aesthetics, his designs of cars should be. Because from the designs of cars I saw, they are almost mimicking the designs are already on ground. So person will say, okay, if I can buy G-Wagon is already a brand, but we can see Innocent producing something like a G-Wagon. So what's the difference? So from what you're saying now is that our private sector should begin to think how they can come out different, so that other companies or other people, Nigerians will begin to look in instead of looking at other companies that will be bringing that same brand.
On that note, I want to make a referral to something I usually do. So once in a while, I train architects and interior designers on how to set up their businesses. Now, while we look at the design the beauty of a particular product. We should think of the functionality. How will it function with the people you want to make it for? You get? Now, in Nigeria, we have a lot of bad roads. In Nigeria, if somebody is going to buy a car, he's thinking of fuel economy. You get? In Nigeria, a lot of things will influence the function of a car, irrelevant of the design.
Okay.
Now, people, that challenge is not an innocent thing. If you check most of the cars, they look alike.
Yeah.
It's not like an issue. But what differs is maybe how they innovate and how they market. And most of the companies we see abroad is just innovation and marketing, which I think everybody should implement. But then functionality. If somebody is going to buy a product, after he uses that product, after he experiences the product and communicates with the product, will he want to come back again? Will he want to recommend somebody to buy again? So those are things we'll look at. You understand? Most of the products we buy, for example, you buy something on Jumia, the issue we have, let's even forget the fact that they are not made in Nigeria. You buy stuff from Jumia, they deliver to you, they deliver something else. Or you start buying a particular product in Nigeria. Once they know they've gotten the market, they begin to drop down on their quality.
Yes.
Then you are now looking for a different product. They drop quality and they increase price. And then you are wondering what went wrong. Why did they stop the quality? Why did they change taste and all that? It happens with our local businesses all the time. So if I see an option from outside the country, a good product, a good name, that I know that instead of them dropping the quality, they increase quality, even if they're going to increase price, but they make sure the quality is top notch, I will go for that product. I'm not tied to anybody.
Of course, you're entitled to your opinion. You're the one who has the money. But you see, you're in Nigeria, and we're talking about recession already in Nigeria, really governing us. So we will begin to, first of all, just like you rightly said, what is the function of whatever product you get? And so that is that function that you benefit from that will actually give you the drive to go back or even make a referral for others to buy that same product. So we are encouraging us, the local manufacturers, producers, we are saying that standard must be maintained in whatever produce we are making, whatever services, it must be a standard that can also be, be compared to other products outside the shores of Nigeria. So as we had earlier said, we'll be hearing from experts to join us in this program on how we can actually continue to help maintain this recession in Nigeria. Yes, Rama, apart from us talking about the private sector, what should government itself do at this point in time? What indices, what are there specifically they need to put in place to begin to help and see how we can loosen this economy so that it will not go too far? Because this recession, I need to say, it shouldn't go too far. A recession that can last, if actually here comes, if it can last less than 2-3 months, I think it will be a good thing for us to come back on board.
From that point, there are a lot that they need to do.
Okay.
First of all, when it comes to research and development, I'm not sure we have any apparatus, any system around for research and development. So we have students that come out of the university or schools or trainings, or they're efficient or proficient in something, but there's no platform for them to practice. You get? So we don't even know how to discover talent. Okay. We have a lot of, we just need an environment or a platform to bring in talents and to research something. And, right now, Nigeria is not a producing country.
Okay, I think we're almost getting connected with our expert.
Is it
already? Okay.
Dr. Emmanuel, good day, sir.
Dr. Emmanuel, can you hear us? Hello? Hello? Yeah, Dr. Emmanuel Bashir.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
You can hear us.
You can hear us. All right, you're welcome to Nigeria Market.
Thank you.
Can you please?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Yes, today on our topic on the show, we are trying to X-ray. We are already in recession, so we want to see how local economy can checkmate economic recession. How do our local products be able to give a solution to the recession that we are already in now? We want to get your views. Thank you.
Okay, so I think first of all, one thing is very clear. Apart from a situation where you have a pandemic like we had this year, where you stumble into a recession created by the pandemic, typically recessions don't just happen. I mean, you typically will see it ahead. So I will take the discussion from a rescue point of the fact that what we are facing right now is something that we didn't see coming, especially because of the pandemic. But also, it's important to note that you don't prepare for a recession when you're already inside the recession. It's just like saying you're preparing for a battle when you're already inside the war.
Okay.
So, first things first is you need to have prepared ahead, put in enough buffers into the system that will enable you to be able to withstand the pressure that the recession will come. Now, be that as it may, looking at it from how the local economy is going to help us out of the recession. Nigeria is a nation of over 200 million people. What it means is that typically we have a large market. And with a large market, we have a potential to be able to consume what we produce and produce what we consume. Now, if our economy is dependent on a lot of imports, it means that where there is a shrink in the production of goods and services generally, which we call a recession, it means that we are likely going to be worse hit because of our dependence on foreign products. So, how the local economy can be stimulated is when there is a deliberate investment in supporting the industries that can help produce things that we can consume locally. This is where the SMEs come in. Check the big economies of the world. The SMEs, the medium, small, and the small and medium enterprises, they form
Enterprises,
a
yeah.
huge part of the production bulk. This is the way you simulate the economy. You provide that room for a lot of people to be able to produce things. So if I produce in Abuja, somebody's producing in Lokoja, somebody's producing in Lagos, and it has a ready market of consumers that are going to take up these products supported by government policies, then you're sure that these companies are going to thrive, not just thrive, but they will definitely be able to create an economic spin that will enable us to be self-sufficient. Have you ever asked yourself why the moment the naira gets devalued against the dollar, or the so to say, like we normally say, the dollar price don't increase? Do you ever wonder why even the woman selling pepper in the market suddenly becomes aware and is already increasing the price of our pepper, saying that the dollar has increased price? Where have you asked yourself when we got to this point where we have become so dollarized as a nation that a slight change in dollar price significantly impacts on our economy? This is because our local production is not sufficient enough to sustain what we do, what we need in the country, and we rely solely and skewed more towards imported products. And that's why we're here. A small recession hits us to the rock bottom. We don't have sufficient foreign reserves to cushion our impact of recession, where we can be able to stabilize dollar rates because we still import a lot. So you see, it's a multifaceted thing. Yes, we can support and strengthen our local industries, but you don't do it when the show is already on. You should have done it before the show started. But now you're already in the midst of the storm and you're not trying. There is no economic stimuli that you put in that will not take at least 90 days lead time to begin to generate any
You need
tangible.
a rescue. You need a rescue team.
Yeah, even if you do a rescue team, think about it. Time is also a factor here. You are already in the midst of it. And if you're putting a
Dr. Mana,
rescue
you know
team,
one thing? Dr. Mana, you know one thing?
yeah, go
Now,
ahead.
funny enough, if you go to most of these agencies, you see a lot of policies. You get policies written everywhere. My challenge now is implementing these policies.
No, but it has always been the challenge. We have never been
Yes,
for policies. We've always had policies. The problem is in the
yes.
implementation, the excellent implementation of these policies. And the truth there is that you don't just There's no fire brigade approach. There's no magic bullet that fires and it just gets the problem solved. There's no such magic bullet anywhere. You have to plan for it and you have to execute it strategically, such that you're not caught in this web. It is when the thing is happening that you're not running to go and fix it. This is my point, okay? So we are not short of policies. See, there are policies upon policies. The problem is that most of them end up on shelves somewhere in somebody's office.
Of course.
So,
All right.
When we face a situation
what I would say,
running around,
what I will say is this: since we have policies and we can't implement, for me, trying to depend on the government to implement policy or to push them to implement policy will almost resemble the protest that just happened. And I feel like even though it might work, I feel like it won't be the right approach. Now, in as much as we have the government agencies, we have private sectors. I don't know why I keep hammering on this. If the private sector can sit up enough and begin to produce, definitely, if what they produce has good quality and is functional to our economy, to our local area, to our local settings, people will definitely purchase these things. You get that? It has been my point. I don't know how we can, make this thing go viral, make it become like a normal thing, like the new normal, where we'll begin to produce product content that is specific for our environment, and then we get it will be easy for us to get people that will consume this product. So we are making what we can consume. Let us even take care of our own consumption before we think of exportation. You get what I mean, sir?
Yes. Dr. Emmanuel, are you still with us? Hello?
yes, I completely.
All right. So,
Yes,
so,
I can
so
hear you.
yeah, from what you have also discussed, I had you mention specifically on the dollar that you make us to understand that the dollar has become a determining factor of our price change or the rate of market forces. So how do we, at this point in time, as our topic is, how do we begin to see how we can, put more value to our own naira than on dollar, so that that dollar rate will not also affect the price force in the market? Because you've mentioned here that as soon as the dollar price increases, a common woman who is selling salt in the market knows that the dollar has risen, so he also increases his own price, and that has also caused this issue in inflation and price hike. How do we actually, tackle our foreign exchange so that we can have a very measurable dollar exchange?
Now, I will take a bit back memory lane, right? In the 70s and maybe the 80s, when most of our industries were working, our our naira was stronger, and that was because we were producing locally and we were consuming locally. We didn't have to spend a lot of forex on importation of things, because
Okay.
we were producing them locally. We didn't have to import textiles. We didn't have to import. Most of the big vehicle manufacturers were assembling here or either producing here. We had Volkswagen, we had Peugeot, we had all these guys here. So we didn't need to import. Now, the dynamics is this. When you import, you pay in another currency other than your own currency. And the way the
That's true.
dynamics in monetary policy is that you have to go and find that currency and pay for it, then use it to pay for your products. Now, if you have ever opened a dollar account in Nigeria, you understand how it works. If you need to deposit $10 into your account officer will tell you cannot withdraw $10 in naira equivalents from your normal naira account to deposit
Yes.
into your dollar account. You will have to go and find the physical dollar, then come and deposit it into your account, and you have to pay that
Okay.
exchange rate costs. Now, this is the way it works. Because we are majorly importing, either we are importing the direct product or we are importing its derivative. or maybe a raw material required to produce that product. Now, once you are importing, the day there's a fluctuation in the currency exchange rate, it affects your cost of production. Because if I was buying a dollar at 400 or at 200 naira, and then I suddenly start buying it at 300 naira, it goes straight into my production costs, and it will
It's true.
definitely impact on my output costs.
Yes.
So, however you look at it, as long as there is a foreign element in that product which I am producing, it will continue to be impacted by the currency exchange. Remember that even our petroleum product is imported, refined petroleum products. So if you import refined petroleum products, your regular car on the street uses petrol. Everything, I mean, so
Okay,
transportation
Dr. Manuel,
gets
sorry,
impacted.
because
So the
hello,
woman that needs to move product from the rural market, yeah, I can
hello,
hear you.
yeah, Dr. Manuel, can you get me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, sorry, because of our
Yes, I
time,
can
we
hear
are
you.
almost out of time. But we want to appreciate you for your superior view over this topic, and we can see how much you have actually, contributed to our viewers out there to actually understand how we can actually wriggle ourselves out of this recession using our economy, our local economy. We want to thank you very much. I want to say that in our next edition, we'll also continue to bring you in so that you continue to weigh in this direction. Thank you very much, Dr. Manuel. So, Ramat, you can see a sale expert giving us actually what is in the field, and he has weighed exactly on what the economy of Nigeria. What interests me is that already we cannot begin to fight the battle where you're already in the battle. So that is that ordinarily Nigeria may be in recession before we even talk about announcing that we are in recession. But however, it's how we get out of it that matters.
2016, we were in recession. 2016.
Okay,
and we heard we came out of the recession. I think what happened was a political maneuvering.
Okay.
I didn't believe we came out of recession because things didn't really change.
Right.
So from where he is talking from, I agree that we need to focus inward. But how many of us want to focus inward? Even the producers are scared. You get so, and the government is confused. So right now, it is just taking action on something. Like if I make something, let me continue making that thing and ignore it. Even though, because if you check, most producers, most business people in Nigeria, tell them open a bank account, they are scared. They think government wants to take something from them. Tell them go to FIRS, they are scared. You get so, and this is an issue everywhere. So if people can just say, I want to be a producer, I need to have a bank account, I need to have FIRS registered, I need to have all these things set up and become a legitimate business in the country.
Okay.
The government has to do enough apart from their policy and education in communicating these things to us.
Okay.
You get?
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmad.
Thank you.
We want to say that we are happy that we've been able to make some input to today's topic. And as we keep on, Nigeria market is always here to always bring to our fore how we can be able to check ourselves out of this recession. Well, we are in the market already, and we'll continue to be in the market to see how the market forces can actually loosen this recession. And that's the reason why today, if you see on the show, our chief host is not here. He's out there in the field trying to be able to create a market where the buyer and the seller will meet so that at the end of the day, we can begin to fight this recession. So I want to ask us and our viewers out there today, as you listen to us, make your comments, make your contributions on our social media handles, our Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube, where you watch us and make comments. And when you do that, I think we'll be able to push this program, forward. And as we say, because of our time, we may not be able to go up. The technical people are giving us time up. So I want to still say that when we have your time again, you're going to give us much on this topic. So once again, I want to thank you. And we say today, as we always say, last week we launched our campaign, #BuyNaija to grow Nigeria, because that's the slogan that can actually drive into the psyche of our consumers right now, so that we begin to look into our areas. So as we leave this studio, before we leave, we must definitely recite that slogan. So we'll do it together.
#BuyNaija to grow Nigeria.
Thank you, viewers.
Thank you.